Format full of lightning bolts.
Yeah.
So format full of removal.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is Grand Prix Paris, this is Legacy, this is the top 8. We've seen the quarterfinals and we are waiting for the semifinals to begin. I'm Simon Götzen here with Raphael Levy, and there is 3 more matches until this tournament has a winner.
So on one side of the semifinals, we have Loïc against Javier Dominguez. Loïc is playing a Reanimator, Javier is playing Bug.
Yes, exactly. And on the other side of the bracket, there is only Miracle decks left. Miracle, the big winner of this tournament. Definitely a big contender in Legacy going forward. Philipp Schönegger from Austria playing against Maxime Gilles from France. So it's Austria against France, Miracles against Miracles, a Miracles mirror, as we say. And we are going to start with Loïc facing off against Javier Dominguez. And this is where we are right now.
So Loïc, that's Loïc's first GP top 8. We talked about him all over the weekend. He's been around for a while. He qualified a couple times for the PT. He's always day 2 at the GP. He finally made his first top 8. And well, he's on the team. He's on our testing team when he's qualified. He's a very good player, and I'm happy to see him here at this stage of the tournament.
And this might not be his last match either.
Oh no!
Yeah. He's the number 1 in the standings, so he gets to play first in the semifinals and also in the finals should he make it. And he's facing a Miracles deck in the finals. He has shown that he's capable of beating that when he won against Paulo Vitor Damo de Rosa twice.
Yeah, Reanimator is not the best matchup for Miracles. And on the other side of the table, you have Javier Dominguez, who is a Spanish champion from a couple of years ago. He quit Magic to play some poker, but now he's I think he decided to just play a GP, and he's doing well. I know he plays well. I played with him in a team PTQ, along with Thiago Chan. It was pretty fun. He lent us all the decks. He built all the decks. Yeah, you play that, and we gotta roll this PTQ.
Nice, nice.
We did win the PTQ.
Of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't have told the story.
No, that's why I know Javier. You might not be familiar with him. Doesn't matter if we won, but we won. But
did you win?
Oh wait, I think we did. We did. But I'm just talking about Javier not being.
So Javier, a great player from Spain, and he's showing that there were quite a lot of back decks in day 2 and also in the top 8. But his is the one that's still standing because back did have some troubles with Miracles. It seems like.
So yeah, so we can see that the big card of the tournament. We can say that it's True Name Nemesis. It's been talked about over and over again, and you can see in the top 8 what are the decks. They are Bug, Miracle, and Pinter Servant. All of these decks either run True Name Nemesis or are pretty much True Name Nemesis proof.
Yeah, and Reanimator of course as well.
And Reanimator. Reanimator doesn't really care about the 3-1 for 3. So it did have an impact,
but it wasn't a surprising card. We knew it talking about this this tournament on Friday. The players preparing for this tournament knew that it would be relevant, and those that are playing Marsh Casualties, that they made the top 8. And those that didn't prepare for True Name Nemesis are now standing in the audience.
Yeah, but that's what this tournament's about. If you were prepared, if you know True Name Nemesis was a thing, then you would play around it and not just pack your Maverick deck or something else.
All right, we're off to the races. Like on the play, as we talked about, Island, Lotus Paddle, and Careful Study. So now just starting off pretty strong. We see a reanimate in his hand. The Lotus Petal potentially providing a black source. And Loïc Lebrun is going to be able to discard Ashen Rider. 5/5 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you exile a permanent. And when it leaves the battlefield, you exile a permanent again. And then, it doesn't look like there's another fatty, but that's probably not too important for Loïc here.
Do you actually want to reanimate that guy on turn 1?
Well, you definitely want to get a permanent with it. The thing is, Javier is threatening a lot of different things. He could have counter spells, counter magic. He could have Deathrite Shaman to exile creatures. So Loïc is going to be forced to play around that. And then, what happens if there's a Liliana or a Dismember?
Right. I think Loïc he wants to take the most. Take advantage of the Ashen Rider
to get the triggers.
Yeah.
Yes. But
having a 5/5 flyer on turn 1 is not that
we
exciting.
saw Reanimator against Miracles being forced to take things very quickly. Try to get a fast monster onto the battlefield. Is this a matchup where Reanimator might drag on a little bit, or is it the same thing? You just want to be quickly and get it over with.
I'm pretty sure you want to have it done over quickly.
Okay,
you don't want the opposing player to have a threat and be able to protect it.
So that means Reanimator is basically racing in every matchup.
Yeah.
And it looks like Ashen Rider just enters the battlefield here. Javier Dominguez knows what he's up against, so just lets the Rider, or is forced to let the Rider resolve. Day's not doing anything. Loïc Lebrun just playing around the soft counter magic.
You can see that there's a Daze in a Javier Dominguez hand that he could have played on the Reanimate just to save the land.
Oh, interesting line, yeah.
It would not have countered the Reanimate, but he would have traded pretty much the land in play, the land in his hand for a Daze. Mm-hmm. Well, since he had other lands, it's not a good line of play, but that's an option he could have.
Yeah, especially considering that the Daze might not do anything for the remainder of the game. So Javier is now forced to find an answer to Ashen Rider, and when he does find the answer, he's losing another permanent. So that's pretty brutal.
Unless it's a Jace.
Okay.
But it's gonna come down a little late.
Yeah, I mean he's only on 1 land, so not likely to happen. Loïc Lebrun has Iona, Shield of Emeria. No way to get it into play yet, but maybe Brainstorm delivers here. Exhume
and Tomb.
So that's another 1/2 punch that he can use to just get another fatty, an arbitrary fatty into the graveyard. Exhume, of course, being symmetrical, so it would allow Javier to reanimate one of his creatures as well, but there's only a pawn in his graveyard. Now, Loïc has been playing around Dazes the whole tournament, and this is another one of these situations where if you tap those 2 remaining mana that we see here, the Exhume that he found with Brainstorm is potentially getting countered. Mm-hmm. So would you just wait another turn, given that you are
doesn't he
so
have
far
2
ahead?
Exhumes in hand?
Well, that's possible.
So it doesn't matter if we...
So then you just go for it, right?
Yeah. Like, if it's a Daze, then it's still a Time Walk.
And, I mean, Ashen Rider is basically winning the game on its own. And Javier Dominguez, even if he has the Daze, will be sitting there with zero permanents.
Yeah, that's right. He has another Exhume. It's pretty much 2 mana, bounce your land. So what's the name? Eye of Nowhere?
Eye of Nowhere.
Eye of Nowhere.
Boomerang.
Bounce your land. Go.
Yeah, this is not a fair fight. Ashen Rider, 5/5, and as you said, there's the Exhume number 2, and that's enough. I mean, that was so one-sided.
When you play Reanimator, you dream of these. You dream of that these games happening.
Yeah, but this is great if you are at such a large tournament. Do you agree with the hand that Javier Dominguez kept though? It looked like he had almost 0 disruption for what Loïc was doing.
He had the Daze, but then if you go down to 5 to really feel like you can beat Reanimator on the draw.
Maybe Reanimator is not only well positioned in general, but also because people have to respect Tune Nemesis now. They cannot focus too much on these more combo-oriented big creature strategies.
think Reanimator is a really good choice for this tournament. If you anticipated the Miracle decks, that's a very good choice.
No. And then we are back to the topic of next leveling, basically, leveling the metagame. Matej just arrived here running, so I assume that he has some interesting news for us.
You would think that the Mirror Match Miracle is not as interesting.
Okay, Matej is getting set up here with the sound, and yeah, it's going to take another second while we see Javier and Loïc boarding. Matej, take it away.
Yeah, I came running because it was really interesting set of turns where Maxime, Gilles, Miracles had an early advantage with Sensei's Divining Top, but then there was a huge skirmish over the Sensei's Divining Top of Philipp Schönegger, which created a stack long 6 cards, counter spells, spell pierces and whatnot, but then finally Maxime Gilles resolved the Jace and could defend it against his opponent, so he has a big edge in game 1, but there's so much Magic left to be played.
Thank you, Matej. So the game isn't decided yet, but it looks like Sensei's Dividing Top and Jace on one side of the board, on the French side of the board, is giving Maxime Gilles an incredible advantage there. Have you played a lot of Miracle Mirrors, Raf?
I actually haven't. I've never played the Mirror.
Because, okay, we get a quick view now. Why don't you analyze this in 15 seconds, Raf?
There's a lot of lands he plays Terminus, and there's Jace and a counterbalance. That's my analysis.
Adjacent
Okay,
7.
well, that was, yeah, adjacent 7, yeah.
Adjacent 7 probably favoring the player with the Jace?
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with the Jace. If you don't, if you have a, like, that's why they're playing red. One of the reasons they're playing red is to take care of the Jaces. With the new rule, which says that if you have a Jace in play, your opponent can also have a Jace, which was not the case 6 months ago.
So you don't have your Jace as an answer to the opponent's Jace.
So you need a way. You need another way. Damage is one, but you need another way to take care of the opposing Jace.
Yeah, and as we've seen, the +2 ability does mean that Jace gets out of burn range really, really quickly, and even Snapcast Mage can't keep up really. So yeah, you probably want Pyroblast.
Pyroblast is the best answer. Yeah.
The standings are being posted.
And if you are playing a deck with a lot of library manipulation and Snapcaster Mages, there's really nothing wrong with playing one or a couple of Pyroblasts.
Oh yeah.
So these guys are still sideboarding. They have full information with the deck list of each player. On the other hand, I'm sure that Loïc has played against bug decks during this tournament, and Javier Dominguez must have a plan against Reanimator as well. But it's not clear if he has any sideboard cards. So why don't we take a look, Raf? Javier Dominguez for you, and I'm going to take Loïc Lebrun.
So this figure, not really. Diabolic Edict,
that's coming in for sure, right?
That's coming in, but it's not that great.
Yeah.
Against the Gristlebrand, it will kill it, but that's it.
Yeah. And the Diabolic Edict probably also mostly there to fight True Name Nemesis, but works against Reanimator as well.
Dismember, no. Engineered Plague, no. Guldguard Charm, no. Null Rot, no. Grafdigger's Cage, yes.
Yes. So we have one great card and a Diabolic Edict, that's 2.
Him to Turok, probably not. Vendilion Click, yes. Force of Will, yes. Jace, not sure. Sylvan Library, not sure. And Spell Pierce, probably. So no real good cards against the Reanimator.
That one Grafdigger's Cage looks like a 15th card that you just put in because it could be good.
And it's not even that great against Loïc's deck because he's running Show and Tell.
Yeah. And Loïc does have 2 Show and Tell in the main deck, 2 Show and Tell on the sideboard, so he goes up to 4 Show and Tell if he wants. Which means that Javier is going to need hard counters, Graveyard Hate, and a Clock to back it up. And his whole mana denial plan isn't going to work out against such a cheap deck. Hey, Matej, you're here.
Hello, Simon. So talking about sideboarding, the mirror match of Miracles is also moving on to game 2. Maxime Gilles managed to ride that Jace to victory successfully, putting it all the way up to 13 counters and then finishing off with his ultimate. So even though there were some cute little plays in between, Maxime Gilles successfully defended his Jace, and now they're on to game 2 in a surprisingly fast Miracles mirror match.
Thank you, Matej. Thank you for that update. So both games at both matches have finished game 1, and we were just talking about the sideboarding. Like LeBron does have the 2 show and tells in his sideboard to go up to 4. Could bring in a disruption of his own, maybe Flusterstorm to win the counter battles. And otherwise, it really depends on how much he wants to move towards a show and tell deck as opposed to a Reanimator deck.
I can see Pithing Needle getting in against Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because Javier doesn't have many graveyard hate cards in his sideboard, but he already has Deathrite Shaman in the main.
Yeah, and don't forget the Planeswalkers. There's 3 Liliana of the Veil in the main deck, and the potential for Jace the Mind Sculptor out of the sideboard. Being able to Pithing Needle those when you have a Grizzlebrand in play is potentially huge.
So I'm pretty sure he's gonna bring in at least 1 or 2 Pithing Needles.
Okay. But you wouldn't bring in Duresses, City of Traders, another Ashen Rider. Maybe Ashen Rider is better than Iona in this matchup, but I assume that Loïc is happy with just having an access to these one-offs if he wants to.
He probably knows better.
Oh wow! Yeah, I'm just getting some interesting info here. Maxime Gilles is actually undefeated this tournament.
Oh yeah?
Well, maybe not in the most technical sense because he conceded the last round.
All right.
To his countryman, but he hasn't lost a match that he has played out. One ID, one unintentional draw and 1 concession, but no losses on his resume this weekend.
We'll see if he keeps his
he's
streak
up
undefeated.
1-0, so he could actually play the perfect. Well, let's say the perfect with a small side note, the perfect GP with a small side note of a concession.
Oh, you were in LSV's perfect tournament, right?
I was there.
Oh, you were there?
I witnessed it firsthand.
Oh yeah.
I
Come on,
don't really talk about it too much.
Come on.
Because I respect Luis's feelings on the whole matter.
Did you beat him?
I beat him.
Okay, that's good. What you did in that tournament? Did you do well?
I won.
Oh, you won. Oh, you don't. You said you didn't want to talk about it.
I actually wrote a book about it. So.
Oh, you wrote a book. Okay.
All right. Like LeBron is not happy with his starting hand. Javier Dominguez is keeping. So we are going to watch a mulligan here. Looks like there's just a lot of shuffling going on. Sometimes we do watch the Twitch chat sometimes, and some people don't really believe us, but we try to show you as much magic as possible. Sometimes even at in a venue with 2,000 players, the main event just doesn't have matches that are running, and that's why we prepare all the feature content for you. So currently we have both of these matches, both of the semi-final matches of Grand Prix Paris 2014, waiting for Game 2 to start.
Yeah, Rich was thinking about some video thing while the players were shuffling. It didn't happen. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, the shuffle clown?
The shuffle clown, yes.
Oh, I think Raf and Rich have some big plans.
Oh, he prepared something and I don't know what happened, why he didn't do it.
We call it. It's just the code name, of course, the shuffle clown.
No, actually, it's not a code name. Oh, we said too much already.
Okay, we aren't. Turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage. That's why you have one in the sideboard, right?
Yeah, to draw it. Well, against Show and Tell, it's not going to do much.
So, Loïc LeBron is on only a single land, Show and Tell, Ashen Rider, Brainstorm. So looking to find more lands with that Brainstorm. And Javier is also looking for more cards with Ponder, has that Grafdigger's Cage. So Reanimate is basically disabled at this point, but the the show and tell
Show
is
and
very
tell
much
is not-
life.
yeah.
Now, with Loïc constrained on mana, the dazes and spell pierces of Javier become a lot more powerful.
Oh yeah. Like, what do you want? What do you want to see off your brainstorm? You want to see City of Traders and a Daze. That would be the best draw he could have.
Because it's the fastest way to get show and tell into play while still having
You
some
mean
back.
turn 2? Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Oh, Ancient Tomb.
But do you expect Loïc to end of turn brainstorm here, or is he waiting for
I
his draw?
think so. No?
Yeah, he's waiting for his draw. So.
All right.
Otherwise, I think the risk of getting yourself brainstorm locked is just too high. But
then you give Javier the opportunity to untap and have spell pierce up.
Yeah.
Now you're facing 2 mana up or 1 mana up for spell pierce.
Yeah,
and it's not much better.
So Rav likes his Reanimator decks to be as aggressive as possible. Loïc, on the other hand, is opting to play this really, really slowly. I'm tempted to say he's getting rewarded by drawing Polluted Delta followed by City of Traders here.
Actually, can we see the top card? If that's a Daze, come on, just go all the way. All the way, show a Daze. No! Oh. If the last card was a Daze, my play would have been... But yeah, well.
Not being results oriented here at all. So Loïc fetches
What?
out an island, and
I'm not result oriented.
now City of Traders could be the mana boost that he needs to play around Daze. No, he's going for the brainstorm first. So now what he wants is a force of will. Well, how patient is he going to be?
Like, he needs to do something against Dark Confidant, because otherwise Javier is going to be holding too many disruption spells.
It seems almost like he's willing to pass the turn once again.
Oh, does he have the choice? He can...
He needs to make sure that show and tell resolves. But the problem is he going to be playing around Dazes? Is he going to be playing around Force of Wills? And the longer he waits, the more cards that Javier is going to see. So, yeah he's waiting one more turn.
So there's going to be one card he doesn't know next turn.
And this info is huge, if he gets it, yeah. He's drawing out the Daze now.
Next turn he has to go for it.
So the weird thing is that next turn the Daze wouldn't have been live anyway. So he's not really gaining much with this duress. So Loïc decided that the card from Dark Confidant wasn't something he would care too much about. Interesting line there. And now Javier, of course, is hoping for...
Oh.
That's
Liliana.
That's interesting. We've talked about getting rid of Ashen Rider, not the best thing. But now the counter wall of Javier is starting to build up.
So Javier has a Force of Will in hand. Liliana. Huh.
Liliana resolves.
So Entomb is gonna go if he still has it.
Yeah, Loïc is holding Entomb, Ashen Rider, and Show and Tell. Another reanimation.
Because his plan is to go Show and Tell, destroy the Gravedigger's Cage, because he knows Javier only has one in his deck. And then if Liliana is activated, he can just reanimate whatever has been killed.
Yeah, and here enters the battlefield trigger of Ashen Rider is going to be really relevant, because if Javier deals with the Ashen Rider, then he gets the trigger again, and then
gets to kill the Liliana.
Then he probably just reanimates the Ashen Rider again. But all of this doesn't work through a Force of Will.
Yeah,
so,
I think he has it. Yeah.
This is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Giving your opponent more time allowed exactly that to happen, and now Loïc basically needs to top deck a Show and Tell.
He did that. We saw him do that.
He's capable of doing that. That's for sure. But this is a start. Liliana is going to go up to 5, and Dark Confidant deals 2 more damage. But Loïc is live to draw into Show and Tell here. Do you think he has?
Do we have a champion? No, we don't have a champion.
Do you think he has 4 after boarding? 4 show?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Is this the stage of the game where you're hoping that the Dark Confident kills your opponent?
Nah. Well, you always hope that, but
So
it's not even possible.
But you still have hopes of winning the game as Loïc.
He's drawing very slim at that point.
It's-
No, you can't hope he loses to Dark Confident when he has Liliana in play. He can just sacrifice his own guy.
So that's not going to happen.
No.
What Loïc does have is two fatties, a worthless Axiom right now. So his plan is just going to be draw show and tell and hope to get there. The good thing is that both Griselbrand and Ashen Rider are very good against Liliana. I would even say that Ashen Rider is the better creature right now.
And Javier sees that.
Yeah, Javier agrees.
Oh yeah. Exhume, not gonna do it.
And Loïc knows how important this
Flip
draw
it.
step is. Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
he has a
good.
lot of duress.
Yeah, I mean, he needs the disruption, but this draw just didn't get there at all.
Oof. Yeah, so he's he's not even drawing slim. He's drawing that at this point.
Him to Tarek by Javier Dominguez takes him down to 11, down from 13. It's going to empty Loïc's hand, and then show and tell isn't even an out anymore.
And
So
and every time Javier is going to discard his card,
yes,
so he's never gonna be able to show and tell.
Loïc
anyway.
effectively Liliana locked
Yeah.
at this point. And Javier knows that he's just going to pass the turn. Loïc draws, and it doesn't really matter if he casts the card or not. Single card just isn't. Oh, interesting. That shuts off Liliana.
All right, so maybe we have a game. So he needs to draw runner.
So Dark Confident revealing Liliana.
Okay,
down
that's
to
good.
8.
That's good. Oh wow.
Oh, we have some clapping. Could that mean that Miracles, the Miracles mirror match is over very, very quickly? Here's Matej.
Yeah, so miraculously the other match is already done. The control
What?
mirror match proving to be quite easy for Maxime Gilles of France, who defeats Philipp Schönegger 2-0. Philipp stumbled on lands early, even with his sensei's divining top in play, and then once Maxime baited out a few counters with an Entreat the Angels and countered Philipp's Jace, he successfully resolved his own Jace and took the game home in quick succession. So Maxime Gilles to the finals.
Thank you. That's interesting. Sometimes the
Unstoppable.
control mirrors don't take so long, it seems like. And that means we are going to see Maxime Gilles from France in Paris in the finals.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So
Frenchies, they're back, telling you.
a resurgence.
Yeah.
And there's a Jace the Mind Sculptor on the board now for Javier Dominguez, which can be activated because Pithing Needle is only stopping Liliana of the Veil. Loïc is of course still continuing this game. You aren't conceding in the semifinals of a Grand Prix on camera, but now we don't know what this card is. Now, if it's a fatty or a show and tell, there's still some hope, maybe.
Like, it needs to be a. If it's a fatty, it needs to be a Ashen Rider.
Another Ashen Rider.
Griselbrand is not gonna be enough.
Because Ashen Rider could take out Jace, whereas Griselbrand would just get bounced.
He won't be able to draw up the Griselbrand, and on Javier's turn, Javier's gonna be able to bounce it. So.
All right, that's a Hymn to Tarek and Force of Will backup. So that
It's a little
should
too
decide
much.
the game.
That's a little too much.
There is still the Dark Confident in play. I'm just saying it.
Oh yeah.
6 life is
But
not.
with the Jace.
You can always bounce it, but so this turn Javier has
No, you
opted
don't.
to-
You don't bounce your Dark Confident. You put the land on top.
Oh, you mean just because of Brainstorm you're not?
Yeah,
aren't
you
going
just
to take
keep a land on top all the time, so you never, unless you're I'm not gonna say it. Oh yeah, unless you're very.
unless you make a mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what you wanted to say.
That's what. Suboptimal play. Yeah, you put all the force of will on top, and you fetch. That's how you lose.
So in other words, you're calling Javier Dominguez the heavy favorite to win.
Well, let's see. Is it land? Oh, he saw it. I think he saw the pattern there.
What he actually did here was he stacked his library in the sense that Dark Confident gave him polluted delta, no damage. Insectile Aberration revealed him to Tarek, or Delve of Secrets flipped into Insectile Aberration. Him to Tarek takes out Loïc's hand, who is still in this game, but only as a spectator right now.
Oh, he's on camera, so
yeah, he's probably thinking about what to sideboard. All right, this wraps up game
2 and it's 1-1.
And it's game 4 of the semifinals, and game 5 is going to be the last game of the semifinals because our Miracles mirror match between Maxime Gilles and Philipp Schönegger is already over. Maxime Gilles winning that 2-0. So, like LeBrun, going back to the deck list of his opponent, he knew about all the cards that he would be facing, but he probably wasn't expecting them to come down that quickly.
It's psychologically very hard at this point for Loïc, because he's now thinking, oh wow, should I play around this one Gravedigger's Cage? Because it kind of wrecked me this game.
And the one-offs are just tough. We have a quick look at the top 8 bracket here. We saw Loïc LeBrun beat Paulo Vida Dama de Rosa in the quarterfinals, and is now facing Javier Dominguez, who beat Jose Fernandez Castillo. And in the other side of the bracket, Jean-Mir Akar lost to Philipp Schönegger with Miracles, and Stefan Böttcher of Germany lost to Maxime Gilles with Miracles. And we just talked about the Miracles semi-finals. Maxime Gilles is through to the finals, our first finalist of Grand Prix Paris. And now the big question remains, is it going to be Loïc LeBrun seeded first after the Swiss, already defeating Hall of Famer Paulo Vida Dama de Rosa from Brazil, or is it going to be Javier Dominguez from Spain? Who is trying to win this GP just as much as everyone else.
Former Spanish champion.
And Rafael Levy vouching for his abilities that nobody was questioning at this point. Making top 4 at Grand Prix Paris is quite an achievement. But of course, once you are that far, you definitely want more.
Oh yeah. Making the semifinals is good, but you don't want to stay there. You don't want to leave the arena losing.
I can tell you from experience that losing the semifinals of Grand Prix Paris is not the greatest thing.
I never did that.
I did that.
I lost in Sundays. That was bad too.
Yeah. Rich is guessing it's 2009. I actually don't know. Yes, exactly. It was the largest GP ever at that point.
In Disneyland?
Yeah, always Disneyland.
No, the one I was talking about was in La Défense in Kamigawa.
Oh, that was earlier.
Yeah, 2004.
Kamigawa is fine. I just remember the sets. So you actually touched upon something that's really, really interesting. Reanimator is a combo deck, and Gravedigger's Cage shuts down the main combo. But the knowledge that your opponent only has a single one,
it's psychologically very hard. So do you want to scoop to that one if it comes into play?
How do you sideboard? How aggressive do you want to be? You argued for being quite aggressive in game 2, whereas Loïc took it a bit more slowly and maybe got punished. But he still had quite a lot of outs in that game. Now for game 3, you know that Gravedigger's Cage is a card that shuts down most of what you're trying to do. Are you going to mulligan based on that knowledge?
No. You can't mulligan knowing your opponent has a 1 Gravedigger's Cage. I think knowing he has only 1 is even worse. Like if you knew he had more, you would sideboard accordingly. But 1, so do you put in more cards that will be not as optimal?
And he doesn't even have too many cards that are great against him. On the play, duress makes a lot more sense because it can take away the Grafdigger's cage. But would you start trying to bounce a Grafdigger's cage just to get your reanimates going?
That's it's a tough question to answer in like when you sideboard.
Especially when so much is on the line. This
Yeah.
is the last game of the semifinals. These players are playing for a Grand Prix finals appearance, and likely Brunt knows that Miracles is waiting for him. He's looking forward to playing against Miracles again, I'm pretty sure.
And that's the thing between Game 2 and Game 3. We talked about earlier this weekend. When you know your opponent has only one Grafdigger's cage, you can say, okay, this is Game 2, I won Game 1. I'm not going to think about it. If he plays it, or if I really need to play around it, then I'll do something about it Game 3. But for now, the odds are on my side, so I'm not going to take.
And you can't let that get to you. You can't get
Yeah.
upset if you see a turn 1 Grafdigger's cage. That's just what happens. Likely Brunt opens a hand with 0 lands, is going to mulligan. And I think what's going to be key here is the fact that Loïc is on the play for Game 3, and that Duress is a card that he wants anyway to stop the disruption, stop the Planeswalker, stop the counter magic, but it also deals with Grafdigger's cage if Loïc has a turn 1 Duress.
Javier keeps. This is
The ball is really in the court of the Reanimator deck because it has to do something proactive, it has to do something quickly, it has to get its combo going, whereas the Bug deck is just full of good cards. If the game continues, then Javier is going to have Deathrite Shamans, Liliana,
active disruption. Yeah.
Just to have a good board presence. So this is why you were advocating that Reanimator just has to do something, it has to do it quick.
So lands, brainstorm. Wow. Okay. That's an interesting hand.
Leading off with Verdant Catacombs here.
Oh wow.
Loïc is holding 2 brainstorms, but it looks
that's okay.
Looks like he wants to just hold off on the brainstorm until turn 2. Maybe playing around Wasteland that way. He does find.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can see why he did that.
Does find a Griselbrand, so potentially just able to go for it next turn.
Yeah.
So here a main phase brainstorm could allow him to draw into Duress maybe, but he passes the turn.
I could see one card in Javier's hand.
What is it?
A Force of Will.
Okay, so we actually know that there's some disruption going on. Now, do you think that Loïc didn't sacrifice his Verdant Catacombs because of the Deathrite Shaman on the opposing side of the table?
Because he has brainstorm in hand. That's my thing. That's what I think.
Okay, but he also didn't brainstorm main phase.
Maybe he's waiting. He's waiting to see what happens.
All right, so there's a polluted delta. So Javier's mana is looking really strong here. No wasteland.
And a daze and him to Turok. Oh wow.
Him to Turok is quite brutal. Javier wants to get some aggression going with a Delver of Secret. Passes the turn. So this is a little bit of, yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit. Let's see what happens kind of game. Oh wow, City of Traders, Show and Tell and Reanimate. So City of Traders, potentially the card that you want to play around Days.
Yeah, but not really against yeah, but he has 2, so that's good. That's really good. So he can play Show and Tell. He's probably going to put the land on top as well. He's going to put the land away, play Show and Tell, have it countered, and then play Show and Tell next turn.
And that's also a way to fight through the disruption.
Yeah.
Just
play more.
Yeah, play your combo multiple times, basically.
And I think he might go for the brainstorm again, in case he can find a Duress. Or maybe he wants to keep the brainstorm in case there's a Him to Turok, for example, coming. Because Him to Turok on the next turn is going to be really, really good.
We saw Him to Turok rip apart combo decks all weekend. especially like Sneak and Show, was just left with almost no cards after him to Torek. On the other hand, Javier could have cast him to Torek the turn where he passed, so he didn't do that. Now Loïc Legrand has to figure out what's in Javier's hand and how he wants to play around that. You've been a fan of playing this aggressively, but it looks like Loïc is just more of a control deck almost.
Okay, he found the duress. It's hard to predict what's happening next, because right now, he might be tempted to duress here.
So the
And
game
then
is
next turn, if Javier has another land, he's going to empty Loïc's hand.
Yeah, we are on the edge of our seats here. This is so exciting because Loïc is brimming with confidence.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be happy to see that.
He has a plan and he's sticking to it. So he has that much going for him.
He doesn't have the fourth land. Oh, is that a Gilded Drake? Oh no, this is a Pat Ponder. I was like, what? I don't see that one on the list.
Javier has a very good hand here.
Yeah, his hand is very good.
To him to Torek, he isn't able to cast both of them right now, but both days and a force is quite a lot of disruption.
Whoa.
Him to Torek is kind of an interesting card. How good is random discard against the Reanimator deck?
Well, if he can discard the whole hand, that's going to be super good. Because he has the Deathrite Shaman.
Do you think that Loïc actually took out some of the reanimation cards because of Deathrite Shaman and Grafdigger's Cage?
Okay, that's next turn is going to be brutal. Next turn is going to be very brutal.
And a lot of it depends on if Javier finds another land on top of his library.
The thing is, fetching now is the bad part, because I did not fetch. He would have left Reanimator spell on top. He would have known it, and then Javier would not have discarded his whole hand.
Oh, so Loïc didn't even have to fetch.
No, because like next turn, it's the only time he can actually reanimate.
Top deck something.
Yeah, no, reanimate something. And with 4 mana tapped, then Javier would not have been able to remove a creature from this.
This is assuming that Javier goes for the double him, which he probably would if he draws a land.
No, now, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to if he draws a land, because Loïc he doesn't know what the top of his deck is. Well, he has to go for it.
Which still gives Loïc the chance to top deck, but of course that's worse than having a known card on top of your library.
Well, in a way, that would have prevented Javier from hymning twice, but now
going for it, yeah.
Now it's just saying, okay, Javier, you have to do it. That's your only play.
It's almost like an interesting mind game. So Deathrite Shaman takes out one of Loïc's sorceries there. Delver is looking to get flipped. So if it flips, there is no fourth land. If it doesn't flip it and it's a land,
is that a Force of Will? Ah.
Oh, that's harsh. Just the card that Loïc discarded with duress. So now another counter to back things up. In conjunction with
So
those
now him to
Hypnotorics,
Turok,
that's quite brutal.
Wow.
It is interesting how him to Turok enables reanimation potentially. So.
Well, he still doesn't have a land, so if he discards the Gristlebrand, he still have. Oh no, he has Force of Will, so never mind. Oh, so he kept the 2 worst cards.
He discarded City of Traders and Toronto.
So he's left with Gristlebrand and what's the other one again?
I'm not sure. Did he only have a single show and tell?
Oh no, he has 2 show and tells, right? But now there's no real card because he knows Javier has the Force of Will and the Daze.
Yeah, and is waiting with him to Torek.
Yeah.
So this could be over really quickly with Loïc just reduced to 0 cards in hand, and then Deathrite Shaman is not going to give Loïc the option to reanimate a creature anytime soon. So Loïc is deep in the tank here. Griselbrand, show and
Oh, he
tell,
chose a force of will.
Oh, that's just adding
Oh,
insult to
no.
injury. So Griselbrand, show and tell, keeping that off of home to target isn't the end of the world. But now, the days would have been good already. So Loïc basically needed to draw a mana source to play around that, and then Javier revealed force of will off of Tower of Secrets. Now that's just
That's the nail on the coffin.
yeah. Loïc has to know that this game didn't go in his favor.
Yeah, yeah.
It's there were a lot of intricate decisions how to sequence your fetch lands, your brainstorms, when to play your discard spells. But the way things shaped up, Javier just had all the answers at the right time.
Oh, is that another force of will? Yes, that's another force of will.
Okay.
Yeah,
Javier just,
Loïc is not going anywhere.
he's actually just forced to let this resolve, and of course, this is brutal.
This one, middle one.
I think what he's playing towards here is drawing a reanimation spell, discarding Griselbrand and drawing a reanimation spell. Not even that succeeds. That they could have potentially won, well, or at least forced Javier to use up the one force of will that Loïc knows about. But yeah, Buck seems to be very well positioned against combo, and I'm sure that we'll see how well positioned it is against Miracles in the finals.
I think not too good.
Yeah,
We'll see
that's
that.
what I think. I think this matchup might have decided who wins
wins? Yeah.
who wins the GP. With Javier Dominguez with Bug winning, Miracles is a favorite going into the finals. If Loïc had won this matchup, I think that he would have been a heavy favorite to
Yeah,
win the
to win
tournament.
yeah. And that's it.
Yep, Loïc de Man has to extend
Javier
the hand.
Dominguez.
This concludes the semifinals of Grand Prix Paris 2014. Javier Dominguez from Spain with his Bug deck defeats Loïc Lebrun with Reanimator from France in a close 2-1 semifinals. So we are going to get the finals, well, not underway, but prepared. Yeah, there was some exciting magic.